Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
Hello, everybody. Here we are again. Spiritual Rockstar Party is going on here. I'm so grateful to be with you guys. And we have an amazing guest today, a dear friend, and one that I love so much. Karen McMullen is with us today. And man, we're just going to be talking about all kinds of things, about channeling star seeds, maybe a little human design for sure, all kinds of awesome, cool stuff. And we're going to get right into it in a second. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today. And so let me tell you about Karen before we formally bring her on here. Karen is a messenger who helps sensitive souls to have the strength to step into their power to serve. She has channeled the books Alchemy of Consciousness and Awaken to Your Starseed Mission. Prior to becoming a channel, Karen enjoyed a thriving coaching and workshop business. Gradually, she became burnt out and depressed in her quote unquote success. She realized that the marketing and sales methods that she was using were a subtle abuse of her powers to charm and influence. So we talk about this stuff a lot here. She's in the right place today for sure. After a poignant human design reading, she began to reevaluate how she was using her life force. Seeking enlightenment, she embarked on a weird and wild inward journey, including moving to Mexico. Oh, that was so much fun. I remember that. And some major inner healing, becoming an avid salsa dancer and living on the side of a mountain like a monk. Years later, she was surprised one morning when she heard a clear voice begin to dictate text to her. Now she shares her channel messages and human design insights through her YouTube channel, which is her name, Karen McMullen. So happy to have you here today, Karen.
Thank you so much. It's really fun to hear you read my bio. Even though
I gotta have fun or I'm done. It's like, what's the point? Man, I'm always looking for more fun. I was looking at this week and I was like, man, yeah, did I have fun? Sure. But it's like, I want more fun. And, that's why I'm looking at doing, talk to you about secret stuff, but like talking about some new projects I'm looking to develop. And I'm like, let's pour on the fun, right? So that's such a key. And, your journey is like, we always talk about the journey a little bit to get started on the show. And, man, your journey, it reminds me a little bit of my own in some ways, but like, this sense of like it's hard being here, like for us star seeds and whatnot, and like it's hard for a sensitive empathic star seed type of people to be here, and it's heartbreaking to see what it is that we have to face and what others are facing and whatnot, and yet we can hit such highs of joy and fulfillment, and such magic we get to experience as well. And it's just an amazing dance, right? You're in the dancing. So I love to hear a little bit about your journey with all that. What's it like for you? First of all, what is a star seed? So we can, define that for those who may not be fully familiar with that. And then tell us about your journey here, and how it's been trying to navigate your way and finding success, and then like, wait a minute, this isn't it, and all that stuff. So tell us about yourself.
Awesome. Well, the thing that's coming to mind to share as you're speaking is that moment that you and I had when we first did a session. So I booked a session with Daniel, an energy scan, and you said to me, I can tell, this is back when I was living in Mexico, now I'm in Canada again. You said, I can tell that even though you're really happy in your life, that you still don't want to be here. And when you said that, it just hit me so strongly because, there's so many moments where I'd wake up and just have this heaviness, like, oh, here I am on earth. I don't want to be here, but not a conscious thought, like, where else would I be? But then you said you are a star seed and you're here to bring more justice to the earth. And you said, I think you should try to connect with that part of you because you could get a lot of support. And then after our session, I had already channeled the book by that point, so I knew how to connect and channel. But the book that I had channeled was more, I feel, from God or from the voice of consciousness. Like it was more neutral. So I sat to connect, and I just said, okay, well, if there's a star seed, anything out there that that I'm connected to, that I have as an origin, I'm open to connect. And right away, I was flooded with the consciousness of these beings that call themselves the Council of Light, which I later found out is something that it already exists, that other people have channeled and do channel. And they are, they initially, when I connected with them, I did see an image of alien-like beings, but since then I don't connect with them that way. I see them more as just I don't really even see them. It's more just an energy. But they call themselves a council, and I said, well, how can you be a council if if you're thousands of beings? And they said, well, we're all enlightened, we all share oneness consciousness, so it's not like Peter has a different viewpoint than Sally and we're in conflict. Like we're in harmony, we're harmonic. We are co-creative, we are varied, but we're all harmonic. And we are, you are an emissary on behalf of us, bringing our consciousness to Earth in order to assist Earth at this moment in making these changes in consciousness. So the reason why you feel like you don't belong on Earth is because you actually don't. You're more at home in our realm, and yet you were a warrior, you were strong, and you actively chose to come to Earth in order to bring this light consciousness to Earth. And they said, now here you are, you're a warrior, you said yes to a mission knowing it would be challenging, and you're like weepy and sad and not even doing anything. Like, hello, be strong, do what you came here to do. And so when you said how it can be hard to be here, I find it's really interesting. On my YouTube channel, there's a video I posted called Feeling Like I Don't Belong on Earth, and how so many people will comment on that video like, oh my gosh, I didn't know other people felt this way. I felt this way since childhood. Thank you for helping me to see that it's because I'm actually an emissary of light, and I need to strengthen myself to be able to fulfill my purpose here. So, really from our work that I did with you, I re-identified myself in a way more as an emissary of light. So I just wanted to start by sharing that piece.
Oh, that's so awesome. I mean, I'm so grateful. And it's so funny. We were laughing about it before we came on. It's like, of course, I remember some of those things I shared with you. I do remember some of those things 100%, but like, there's other aspects that you said, well, you're the one that came up with this or that, as we're talking. And I'm like, oh, wow, I guess maybe I don't even remember all of that. I'm like, oh, wow, that's what's sort of really cool with the channeling, right? That's what happens for me anyway. I actually think it's funny that I don't remember. Like, really, that happened? Like, it's so hilarious. But and I'm just so grateful because it's so interesting that I'm subscribed to your channel, and our videos that I've watched. I'm like, this is so on point for me. Like it was like comforting and supportive to me to hear it from your channeling, from what you had to share and the way you share. You do wonderful videos. They're not just thrown thrown together videos, which I'm not trying to demean those, but I'm just saying they're produced at a good level. So it's like people can really enjoy them in that way too. And you actually kind of like that when you have it written out and then you're speaking it. You're not always just channeling directly. Actually, because I kind of debated on that at first on your channel. I was like, no, I like that. Like that's good to see it visually as well sometimes. And so it's you bring a lot of comfort to people that we're describing, you know, the empaths, the sensitives, the people that might identify with the star seed and whatnot. And it's really a wonderful channel. So definitely highly recommend it. And human design stuff is invaluable too for people that want to get turned on to that stuff. So that's awesome. Now, I did want to talk about the star seed aspect though, is because again, some people have no idea what that really means. You know, hey, I'm from the stars. Is that in essence what it is? Or you know, let's inform people a little bit more how you see that. So, what is a star seed really?
Okay, great. Well, I want to ask you the same question in a minute because I'm actually wondering how you see it. But basically, I only heard really the term. I had heard of it before, but you were the one that really brought it home to me. So you ignited that in me to begin with, and then my understanding of that word came directly from the Council of Light, which is that star seeds are humans that have incarnated on Earth, but who actually are bringing in consciousness from other dimensions, from the stars, from the sky. I don't really even understand it. I mean, if you go down the rabbit hole and join a Facebook group of the Starseed people, you'll see a lot of things like where people say, you know, I'm a Syrian, I'm a Palladian, I'm an Arcturian.
Right.
And I haven't really gone down that direction with it, partly because it just doesn't make sense to me. But what makes sense to me is the idea that there are other beings who have a higher consciousness than us as humans have been able to actualize, actualize in physical form. And, I believe we all come from the all that is, from God, from the, the bigger picture. But then there are beings who are actually actualized. They're expressing the all that is and how they relate and how they move together in harmony, and they're much more harmonious than we are. They don't operate out of pain bodies and out of trauma and out of harm. And so what I've learned from the Council of Light is that I incarnated many lifetimes ago as a human to take on a lot of pain bodies, to live many painful lives and really learn what is human pain. What is this realm? Because if I came directly and just tried to bring the light without actually integrating it into the human, it wouldn't even relate. It wouldn't go anywhere. So came in as a human, became very dense in my pain body through many lifetimes of like horrific life experiences, and then gradually healed and shed those pain bodies enough that I could then be a match to receive the original light consciousness that I came here to express. So now I have the darkness of having experienced all that pain and moved through it and transmuted it, and the light, so then I can help others to transmute their pain bodies and their trauma imprint and bring the light in. So I guess I don't really have a super straightforward answer to your question, because to me, my rational mind is still kind of grappling with this. I have channeled a book called Awaken to Your Starseed Mission. So I guess in a way I'm standing for this idea of the starseed, and yet at the same time there is some doubt in my rational mind about it. I can't deny that in my body and in my experience, that having the notion that I am here as an emissary of light has helped me make a lot more sense of my life.
Yeah.
And my life purpose, and that it brings me a lot of comfort. It brings others a lot of comfort, and it's really helped me to be strong, to actually get into action and do my thing. So I guess that's where I see it. And what gets me thrown off a little bit is seeing people who get really ungrounded about the whole starseed thing and kind of focus really on their appearance and like what if they're Lemurian or like,
Right.
and to me they're really missing the mark in terms of like the point of it all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I could hear where you're coming from on that. It's like I've never got fascinated with that stuff either, right? For whatever reason. I mean, I would imagine it should be at one level. It should be fascinating to me, right? Well, let's learn about what this Palladians thing is, Lemurians or whatever. I mean, why wouldn't we be curious? I would flip it around, right? Why wouldn't we be? I don't know. I'm just not. I just don't care that much about it. I might get a little information about it, but I'm that way with a lot of things. People like different crystals and gems or whatever. I mean, whatever, all the different things you can learn about. I'm always like, I'm just tuning in and like whatever comes through about that thing is all I care about in the moment. Like that's just my design. Like literally, like if you look at my chart, right, as you do as people, you literally see my chart that why I wouldn't care about that. I'm just in the moment, just reading what is in the moment, and I don't necessarily care about all those sorts of things all the time. So I'm in the same place as you as far as that goes, and I think you gave a very wonderful answer of what a star seed is. You know, I mean, hey, I don't know either. I mean, all I know is that it's, people that are coming, just basically exactly what you said. They're coming from another space, probably have lived lifetimes in other planets and other dimensions, and they your soul hasn't just navigated the Earth's plane, right?
Exactly.
So, and you be able to bring, certain awakening because transmissions and awakenings and frequencies, because of that are helpful, to humanity. So yeah, I think you explained it quite well, and so yeah, I just say I kind of agree with what you said.
There's something that I'll add because one of the things that I do when I'm channeling for people, and when I channel one-on-one with the Council of Light for people, they're most interested in talking about what is the energetic signature of your essential self. And it is really interesting to notice that some people, I immediately get that they're like outer space, they're galactic, their consciousness and who they really are as an essential self, they're bringing in that kind of galactic consciousness. Some people are like a dewy leaf or a well, or some, much more earthly.
Right.
And so I do think, and some people are more angelic. So I think there's a resonance. There's a resonance that way.
Yeah. Right. We are who we are. Enjoy it, whatever it is, because again, to the mind of comparison, wait, who am I? Who's better? What's right? What's wrong? That's that reptilian energy is what that is. It does. It gets pretty. I always said it's almost more of a threat. I'm like, I need to like start a comedy show on YouTube about all this stuff we talk about, because it's all very cool and it's all very funny too, right? So it's funny all stuff. So but yes, in all seriousness, then let's talk about what it is for people that resonate with this idea of being a starseed, especially what's it been like for you? Like you kind of talked about it already, but I want to delve into a little bit more. What is it like being a starseed, from your own experience and what you've seen so far from others? I know you're like, hey, I'm new to this ball game almost. Hasn't been that long. Hasn't been like years and years. But because I totally resonate for you for sure. Like I see it in you right away. Like you're like, okay, what is this experience like? What's that experience like as a human? Like I can see you like that, like a lot. Like, you know, you have all kinds of experiences. And so that totally makes sense. Um, are all star seeds sort of that way, or is that just specific? Some of us are that way. I don't know. I don't know if you have any insights on that. I'm just kind of curious about that. I think we're all that way to some degree, but yeah, it's like it's almost like with the empathic stuff. It's like let me feel how horrible it would be to be in your shoes if I can at least feel it, or maybe if I could literally like change places with you. Now I've got the pain. Now I get to have the big experience. I'll take it away from you. You don't need it so much. I'll have it. And it's so interesting. So what do you notice with all that? That whole thing around wanting to experience it all and like trying to take it all on and you know the benefits and downfalls maybe of all that.
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it. That what would link all star seeds would be the sensitivity piece, and
Yeah, yeah.
also being an energetically aware person, whether they're conscious of it or not. All star seeds are energy healers, and they work with energy. They naturally have a gift for energy healing, for energy work, for perceiving on the energetic level, and that's a big part of why I believe they're here, is to transmute energy and to within themselves, but also with the people that come to them, and it could even be the places that they go. So yes, I think I think another thing is it can be really not fun to be a star seed when you don't know that you are. And like you said, and you have no boundaries, and you just get into drama situations where you take on other people's pain and try to fix them and blah blah blah.
Right.
So having the awareness of being a star seed is such a gift, because it can then become this turning point of stepping into the power and taking ownership of your gifts, which means taking responsibility for yourself as an energy being, as a sensitive being, and kind of designing a life that will actually honor that. And a big theme for me has been finding a home,
Mhm.
because like the feeling before was I don't have a home. I'm not at home on earth, and I don't belong here. And I think that is partly why, like, you might have seen me kind of moving all over the place, having different adventures, is because I was in a way um, moving around to try to find my place. So now I'm very much focused on finding a home, but even in the interim, I have invested money in having a nice apartment, getting like really furnishing it, giving myself substance, substantiating the self enough to have a lot of like the material things around me to help me thrive. So that was a big revelation, because prior I've always been kind of a light, airy fairy, moving here and there, not prioritizing the material realm.
Mhm.
And so choosing to kind of find a home, um, acquire things, substantiate myself by having these things that kind of ground me is a little bit foreign, but also exactly what I needed.
That's great. That's great. Because there's a lot of resistance, I think, to, I know within myself and within, you know, you mentioned it, and others of embracing, you know, the physical and then therefore material things, especially in this age of like literally whatever you do, it's impacting the planet, and it's, you know, you're killing the planet. Your breath is killing the planet. You're whatever you do, you're just existing, you're killing the planet or whatever. Like where it gets so many fear messages. I mean, they think it's just, you know, we needed a balance, and then we go the other way to try to rebalance. That's pretty hilarious in a way, but yeah, but and it's like I think that there's such there's so much. I think there is something to that, you know, like we don't need to all thirst for I don't think a star seed typically, I think there's all different types of star seeds, but and some may be very materialistic, but I think a lot of the people listening wouldn't resonate with that, and they would feel like, I don't know, just the basics. I like to take nice vacations though, and I like to get some nice energy healing, and like
Yeah, or even
probably more than average, like
yeah. So I think one of the messages I've been receiving recently, which is really cool, is basically the makeup probably of your audience and star seeds is a natural orientation towards service to others,
yes, yes,
very much encoded into the very fiber of who they are. So if you bring someone into this world who's encoded to serve, everything that you give them to substantiate themselves, to make them more strong, to give them resources, to kind of bolster them, is going to ultimately serve everyone.
yeah.
So I believe that star seeds and energy workers are here to be the most wealthy, the most substantiated, because it's really what is most needed right now. And the more that they can embrace that, then the reallocation of resources is going in the right places.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, I mean, it's a good point because, again, it's could get into the whole money story, right? Money's good or bad, all that stuff. And, it's, obviously money is whatever you're making of it, right? So it's like anything else. What are you making of it? Nothing's good or bad. It's a matter of what you're making of it. So yeah, hopefully I would think, yeah, those of us that are sensitive and come here for especially you when you say, yeah, for justice for the planet and all this stuff, like we're going to reallocate the resources in a beautiful way. I mean, I think about my Starseed friends. I mean, one of them's huge with the environment. It's a huge, huge part of her platform and her message and everything. And so, yeah, reallocation and the understanding that it's Team Earth, and things, all these things. I mean, so much more, but it's a whole different perspective, and I don't know why I'm bringing this up now, but I just keep thinking, and I like to keep bringing this up. It's like when we really get interconnected, first it might happen in meditation, where we have a really conscious awareness of it, but like we get in that connection and we connect with our fellow star seeds and the rest of the people here on the planet. You can get in such a connection that you literally do understand that you are one with everybody and everything. That you really get that connection. And the more you can live in that connection, the more you will totally just change how you do everything. How much more would you hesitate to give the extra dollars to a charity? I mean, who cares? It's in a way, right? In a way, there's a discernment, but like that I give to you is given to me. Like you see it as one, like you were saying. Basically, it's one unfoldment, and the more we get connected to that, and then you don't feel lonely anymore either, because now you realize, no, I'm here with my tribe too. Even my tribe is here. I'm not isolated. They're here. We've come together to do this. I'm not all alone. So you start realizing that, and then you can join communities. You could go to Carrot's channel, or come here and hang out or whatever. But you go to these different places, and you like that's a physical way. But then you start energetically. The more is even more important. That's one of the ways to do it. But like you're more connected, and you just see like, wow, you're playing your perfect part in the whole design, right? With the human design work that you do, man, I'm playing my perfect part. I mean, real quickly, I know I'm going on and on here, Karen. I'll shut up in a sec, but yeah, but like I know with my human design, it's like part of it with who I'm working with, which she's amazing as well. Is she's shown me that I'm here to bring peace and harmony, and it's about universal love and all these things, and so it's about right timing. That I'm a timing master. I'm here to hold a space for the timing for myself, but also there's something in that and for others, like a sense of there's a pace, there's a rhythm and flow to life. Let's trust it. Let's let that happen. So that's my brilliance. But someone else's brilliance might be like, let's go that way now. Like it's a totally different deal, right? And they're not better or worse than me or whatever. And it's the same vice versa. We're all playing our perfect role. And I I just think it's so amazing. So I don't know. I'm just talking. I look at this as, like I said, more of a discussion than interview sometimes. But yeah, anything you got to share about all that, Karen?
Oh, well, I couldn't agree more. I just think that's exactly life at its best is you're that one piece playing your perfect part in the whole, and then you can feel and know who you are in that bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because I think we are all playing our part, whether we're conscious of it or not. But the moment we become conscious of it, and when we know who we are, and we can then have awareness around seeing it play out, it's like when I do human design readings for people, and if you go on my website, the first thing you see, it says, you already know. Sometimes a gentle reminder changes everything, because you already, if I do a reading with someone, I just tell them stuff they already know everything that I'm telling them. It's like, but hearing it come back to them from someone who's just looked at a chart and decoded it, it's very affirming of, oh yeah, I've been doing that my whole life. Oh yeah, this is what I do naturally that I kind of was thinking was a little weird, and I was stifling that. And so it just gives you permission to be exactly what you already are, and to understand your role in that bigger field, and to play it fully. Like, okay, well, this is what I'm here for, so I'm going to really do it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've been taught from my human design, coach, it's helping me with business and everything. Is that just the basics, but like the human design is like, okay, when you're living your human design, you're living from that awakened, enlightened presence, basically, and everything else is conditioning. So when she looks like, we should probably tell people what human design is, because there's probably some people that don't know, but we look at the chart, basically you look at these charts, and it tells you, all this stuff, and you can speak to it way better than I can. But anyway, as we look at that chart, it's like, we see things like, for me, like it says in my chart, I have an undefined will. But I'm like, hey, but wait a minute, why do I have such a strong will at times? I could outwill the williest, I'll kick all your butts. Like, and my coach wisely says, well, that's just your conditioning. You took on that conditioning really well. That's all. But it's not who you are. It's not how you are naturally meant to operate at all. And so when I heard that, it's like, wow, if I could just let go of that, how much more power there is. Because what I found with my willpower, Karen, you've probably experienced this too. Yeah, I can do it. Like I've said, like I always go back to sports. I get on that tennis court, I say, that's it. I don't care who you are. I'm going to beat you right now. And I might not win the first round or the second round, but I'm coming. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. But at the end, I might be on the floor in tatters, and my back might be out or whatever. I might be suffering the next day or whatever, right? But eventually it's going to catch up to me, because it's not who I am, right? But and so I've also played tennis from more my natural nature, and it's sustainable, and I do even better. Then I perform even better. So when we can live in accordance with who we are, it really works. And we're touching multiple points today. You're a starseed, probably. If you're listening, you might be one. And you gotta pay attention to this human design thing, and all this stuff. And there's all these things that bring you into this enlightened presence, this way of being, the spiritual rock star way of showing up and just being you fully and letting that shine. And your work just is a beautiful way of helping people with that.
Yeah, when you were describing the undefined ego, most people have the undefined will center, or it's called also the ego center, in human design. And it's so beautiful. I mean, for me, human design is something that has always been very intuitive. Like, it's like I just knew it from the moment I learned it. And I actually stopped my work right away when I first had my human design reading, and devoted 3 months, and then it turned into a year of just study to human design. And so I can see in you that you have the undefined ego, and it's so beautiful, because it's like I once saw this video of Neil Young playing a concert at the BBC, And he has, I looked up his chart after I watched it because I said, oh my gosh, he must have an undefined ego, because he's just performing and it's so not egoic. It's just him with his guitar singing the song simply because he loves the music. That's what he's about. It's not trying to prove, it's not showing the world how great he is. It's so unassuming. It's just this moment of naturalness. And I love that. It's so beautiful. And then we have the people with the defined ego who are the ones who are the ones that are like, I am the best. And you're like, wow, you really are the best.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, both are great, but I also really just appreciate and really enjoy seeing the people with the undefined ego, because it's just they're doing their thing, but there's not that egoic layer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a deep subject. I mean, even that one topic we go on and on about, but what is, again, from your, you do human design and all that. So what is human design, like the 1 or 2 minute definition?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry. We probably should have started with that, but
Right, it's okay. We could jump around.
Human design is a system based on your birth date that was channeled originally by a man in the 80s named Ra Uruhu, and he had a mystical experience where a voice transmitted this information to him over 8 days and 8 nights. And it showed him how there's this code and that we can look at, which shows, it maps out our consciousness. So again, it's based on your birth date. It creates a chart, and the chart, it looks quite complicated when you first get your chart. You can go and get it on, just Google free chart human design, and there's many different softwares where you can plug in your birth date. And it combines the Kabbalah, the I Ching, astrology, the chakras. There's 9 centers instead of 7 centers. So you get this really complicated looking chart. And then when you begin to interpret it, you can see, even just knowing there are 4 types in human design, even knowing your type can be just a huge revelation. But then there's multiple layers of information that you can dive into over time.
Yeah, I guess that's true. 4 main types, right? So, so yeah, like, I mean, it's just, yeah, I could totally get into that, but that's not so much for our show. I'll just sit here and talk human design with Karen the whole show. But I mean, the point is to do it, because I am not one to like, oh, I'm a Leo. Let me see what my chart says today. I'm just not like, but with human design, like, it's something I have taken to. And so much so that, again, I've hired somebody and working with somebody within my business arena and whatnot I've known for a long time. And, maybe Karen will be next, who knows, but like, we'll see. But yeah, I'm working with her right now, and it's quite liberating. It's another way of accessing information. And I think if, like, everybody, like, this is one of these things, this is just me maybe, but I feel like if everybody just knew their human design to get started in their life, we could be living in truly in that enlightened world that we all imagine, right? Like, wow, like the world's working a whole lot better now, right? Because we just live in our human design and be in an awakened world, at least.
Yeah, I really do believe that human design, because part of human design, there is a prophecy with it that I think it's in 2030. I can't remember the year, but basically that we're undergoing a major shift in consciousness. So it's pretty crazy, because when I started human design, I think it was 7 years ago, I went to that leadership conference where you and I met.
Yeah.
So I was, at this conference with hundreds of leaders who are the leaders in the coaching self-development industry. None of them knew human design. So I was introducing some of them to reading. I was doing mini readings for people. No one knew it. Now everyone in that room knows their human design. It's like growing so quickly right now. So I feel like human design is part of the consciousness that's really needed right now, that it's helping people awaken, because it's so clear and it's immediately valuable. People feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have something that, a lot of the human, I mean, again, some do, but there's always people that do, but you have one of the unique features you offer too with, I mean, you have a lot of different background. I mean, first of all, so you have different background to be able to support people, different wisdom, different ways of reading people and energy and whatnot that extend beyond the human design as well. So, so that's really cool. And then you also are, you do channeling. So that's another, differentiator of supporting, bringing in the vibration as well, a certain vibration that does awaken people to their starseed mission, right? So it's like, and more, but like that's definitely a core of it. I would think is part, yeah, like definitely a core piece. So, so that is amazing. I didn't know, like you probably were wondering if I was going to ask you this. Sorry, do you have any messages from us that you want to share, either by reading, like from your book, or if you want to do a live channeling or anything?
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to channel for us. That would be really, really fun.
Great, that'd be
Do you
great.
have, do you have a question, or do you want to just see what comes through?
Let me tune in. Let's just see what comes through. Let's take, I don't know, 5-10 minutes if that's possible.
Okay, cool. I always take my glasses off, so there we go. So I always like to ask permission and to make people aware that this is not just a communication of a message, it's also an energetic transmission. So that can also be a revelation and an activation that can cause a transformation and an integration with your devotion. So just check in that you actually are willing and desiring to receive a transmission today from the Council of Light, because it does have an energetic component. And if you are in a place where you can close your eyes and just open to receive on an energetic level and tune in that way, then it can amplify the experience.
Thank you.
Oh, we are so happy to be here today with you, Daniel, and with this audience. The light and the joy burst is tangible as you ignite consciousness within each other and within everybody listening. There's an alchemy, there's a transmission, there's a connection that's taking place in this moment now that is purely magical, purely valuable, and valued. And we would like to stress for you, for all of us today, the value of your presence, the value of your inspiration in whatever you're inspired to do, and whatever you're inspired to output or create. You are here to create and to bring an imprint into the world of your creation. So you're not here just to twiddle your thumbs. You're not here just to dwell in the peace and take it all in for yourself. You are here to, yes, feel the peace. Yes, feel the energy of who and what you are and the goodness, but then to share it, to express. So there's a necessary output involved in your role. You being anyone listening right now. Don't doubt the value of your output, even if initially it seems like there aren't many people listening. Part of the process of creative output is a building of momentum over time. What happens to many is that when they begin to output their creativity and they don't get the reciprocal kind of applause or results, that they can then develop a storyline that what they do doesn't matter. But Michelangelo wasn't a Michelangelo in the first year, in the first years, even in the first decade or decades. It's a lifetime of creation produces mastery. And there is an essential process of output over time. And when you give up early and you take the foot off the gas part way, you go back to zero. And then when you build yourself up again to start, you're starting now again from zero. And that can be a very, very discouraging journey. Keep outputting. Not like a slog, not like a hustle. You're not here to slog, you're not here to hustle. You're here to be inspired and to share your inspiration. And so our message today is simply don't give up, don't devalue. Trust that your output is valuable and is valued. And that will be reflected back to you in many, many ways in time. A perfect example of this is that Daniel did a session with Karen, and his words in a few minutes ignited her into an entirely new chapter of her life as a channel for the Council of Light, as a starseed, which changed her trajectory forever. She was no longer identifying as a coach. She's now identifying as a messenger, which led her to start a YouTube channel, which led her to channel a book, which is now igniting thousands of people, hundreds of them every single day. And Daniel was not even aware of this impact until right now we're telling you. So Daniel could be sitting there thinking, oh, what I do doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, there's all of these ripple effects happening. So his words were a couple minutes a few years ago, and then those words have a ripple effect for years, not just in Karen's life, but now in the lives of all the people that are touched by her messages. And now her message is coming back to him. So this is the magic. You cannot know the impact of your output. You must trust, and you must come back to the source to stay strong and to continue to output over time. Okay, so that's all for today.
Yay. Right.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Council of Light. That was wonderful. And I just, yeah, so what I experienced is that energy, like, is as though all this energy weave of energy coming from all directions and places was coming in and through you from all directions. And it was really, it's really cool. It's like we're building something here, like a nest. Like it was really beautiful. I really enjoyed the energy, and I'm so grateful for what was shared as well, because it's so funny. Like, you actually had to say it through the channeling for me to even more fully really understand like what happened with what, again, this, I like to try to shed my ego, most of the time, unless I want it, but like, sometimes I like it. But like, oh yeah, what came through me, yeah, that I was there and that happened. Wow, I think I understood the value at the time, but I had forgot all about it. I'm not thinking about it these days. Move on. And what it's helpful because the kind of work that I do is it can be very tangible, and like, wow, I got new sales or whatever, all those tangible things, um, but it's also intangible sometimes at first because the seeds that are being sown may not fully produce for years. And I've seen it time and again with people I work with. It can be years before, because the people I help are typically up to big things. They're here for a big mission, and I'm usually catching them right in the beginning. Or starting in them at the beginning. So to speak, of that whole journey. And so I don't always get to see it immediately. So yeah, that's definitely changed the way I approach my view of my work. I used to think it's about sales and right now, baby, and all that stuff. And it's like that's not it. That is not it. That is not the primary importance. It's this deeper stuff, and what it's bringing them into ultimately is what I came to understand, and that's brought me a lot of peace. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that through the chat. I don't know it came through the channeling, but thank you, Karen. Thank you, Council of Light. I really appreciate that.
Me too. I am so grateful to you. And I'm so grateful to my past self for hiring you, because at the time, I mean, I was making less than $1,000 a month. And I think I had paid you $1,000 or something like that at the time. So it was a lot for me to invest that. It was like, I wasn't in that mindset at the time.
Right.
And there was no sense that I was going to make a return on investment anytime soon.
Right.
So I made that leap of faith, and I'm so grateful that you stuck with the value of your work at that time, despite my scarcity mindset, because it was such a valuable time for me that I feel grateful that I invested a good amount in it, because it was so worthwhile. It was so valuable. It was invaluable.
Aw.
You can tune out this part as a testimonial if you want.
Yeah, we didn't cut that snippet out, put it everywhere. Awesome. Okay, Karen, that's so great. Well, you're awesome. Yeah, now I can say you're really awesome. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and have you have you have some things to share with people, so we need to wrap this up eventually. So what would you like to share with people as far as following up with? You had mentioned the YouTube channel, which you definitely want to take advantage of that for more channel messages and human design information that is invaluable. We can put a link perhaps in the description where you can get a free chart rating maybe, or just look it up like she said, like on YouTube or what have you, or I'm trying to say on Google. Me coming out of that channel, a little wavy still. All right. I see you have a free gift today, Karen. You want to share about that?
Yeah, so I created a beautiful recorded MP3 meditation and activation that's really about activating your direct connection with source so that you can get clarity on your next steps. So I'm always a big fan of next steps. Like, okay, what's my next thing that I need to focus on? So, because you only need to know that and do it. And that really shows faith over time. So that's just a beautiful MP3 on my website, karenmcmullen.ca, that you can access. And then my YouTube channel is full of gifts and goodies, really valuable stuff. So you can check that out too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching actually because I am interested in building on YouTube potentially. I'm checking out a tutorial she has on there on building a YouTube channel organically. So there's loads of, and as I'm taking it, I'm like, wow, this is like I could imagine someone paying for this. Absolutely, it's not like, man, it's all about the upsell. Let's just give them a little bits, little crumbs, and get them at the end.
It was originally a paid training. Yeah, it was a paid training, and it's yeah, I would definitely encourage people to watch that if they're at all thinking about sharing their work in the world, because YouTube has changed my life, because I have always disliked marketing, and this is a way that I can share my message. People can resonate with it, they get value, and then I'm getting a lot of clients through my YouTube channel just naturally. So it's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, absolutely. You got to embrace being visible. And YouTube, whether you like it or not, it's growing like crazy. Even now, it's actually like it's absolutely, even with all the things going on and some negative press about it and whatnot. And I hear that, and I agree with some of it. But like it is skyrocketing, and people are investing in those ads on YouTube more than ever. That's really what's exponential too. And so there's huge opportunities on YouTube. I can't say enough on that for people that are interested in YouTube. So I watch it all the time. I gotta confess, I learned so much. I could be doing anything and playing YouTube in the background. It's like podcasting for me. I just play that in the background. You know, even the podcast is usually through YouTube. So anyway, check out Karen through the free gift. Take advantage of that, and then also go to our channel, Karen McMullen on YouTube. So, okay, Karen. Well, this time of the show where I usually just take a minute or so and tune into my guests, share a message for you real quick before we wrap up. Are you ready? Okay. All right. See what comes through this time. All right. Okay. Let's see. So let me just get centered here just a sec. Ooh, wow. Okay. So they're showing me fire coming out of your hands. So this just they're like I get, like, it's not words, it's this feeling. It's telling me like, Karen, you're a healer. Like, hey, watch, you know, you're a healer. Like a hallelujah, I'm a healer. It's like really loud and strong. Like, it's really strong. It's really, really like, oh my God, you just have no clue how strong of a healer you are yet. You know, like that, you don't really get it yet. So they really want you to bring that on full force. And so that's the one big message that I would say that's probably going to be the big message. I'll see if I get something else, but that's a big one real quick.
Thank you.
Okay, well, okay. They're showing me you in like one of those saucer cup rides, and you're going, whoa, you're going around. And what's the message? Let's see. It's just funny to see it first. They're like, even though things might like feel like they're going all over the place, where are we going to land? Like, they're like, just like this trust, like something is amazing is being created here. And it's creating a stable base, even though you're going all over the place and going, wee, like, oh, like, even though there's a stable base that's actually being created, a grounding, even within all that. And you're building it, and they will continue to come, is basically what the message is. So I usually like to try to get it 3 messages. Let's see what the last one is. Okay, and you already do this, but that maybe it's just about doubling it down on it. They're telling me pay it forward. So pay it forward with pay it forward to give generously to others that are wanting to come up, and that's going to help grow your influence and your impact a lot. So pay it forward. Things you've discovered that others haven't discovered yet, to pay it forward, like be generous, like give more than enough, like more and perhaps for free even often. And then it's just like there's this exponential growth that I'm sort of feeling from that for you. And then, yeah, all the paid stuff is there, but like this message is what they wanted me to share again with you. So those are the 3 for today. Karen, any quick thoughts, reflections?
That was amazing. Wow, thank you so much. Well, I guess with the healer thing, I guess thought is like, it's kind of sounds almost like a healing energetically through not one-on-one, like
Yeah.
one to many. Is that kind of
Yeah,
what you were
more
saying?
so, yeah, absolutely. Not that
Okay, because
just
that makes sense
one.
with what I hope. Like it could make sense more with what I imagine my sort of business model and lifestyle would be, because I realize one-on-one work, I love doing a little bit of it, but it's very taxing for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So just a little bit of it is so great, but not a lot.
Right. No, it felt more on a collective kind of group and a group level. Feels much more like that. And I feel like, you could you could even just combine that together with your channeling as well, as part of it. Like, okay, we're doing some channeling now. Here it comes, the big guns. That's kind of how I was imagining it coming through as I was tuning in. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is so helpful. Thank you so much. Wow. And the teacup thing totally resonates because like I've gone from a total lack mindset with living in Mexico and sort of shedding my former identity as a businesswoman because as you mentioned in the intro, I was very disillusioned
Yeah.
with sales and marketing. And now I have this mentor who's making millions of dollars a month, and she's very energetically attuned, which is what I resonate with her about. And so she's completely changed my mindset around money, but it's very disorienting. I'm like, what is happening right now?
That's awesome, Karen. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Great. Well, so everybody, if um, you want to check me out again, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditated make money meditation, first of all, and that'll open your chakras, your energy, get your messages, your downloads for yourself, what's unfolding, what wants to unfold. Really, it just attunes you, gets you activated within, and then go to my Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group because I'm doing 3 p.m. Central on Mondays. I do a Facebook Live and I do some energy scanning there, actually. So you want one of your own energy scans, go there. So the two, go to Rock Your Sacred Purpose group on Facebook and also go to your sacredpurpose.com, get your free make money meditation, start making more money today because it could happen for you. And I have people that listen to it constantly and they're telling me it makes a difference. I feel it's the reason why they're making more money. That's what they tell me. So anyhow, so I just want to share that with you. And Karen, we're going to wrap up now, but do you have any last thoughts to share with the audience before we come to a close?
Oh, thank you so much. I just feel so grateful. I had so much fun with you, and I'm really excited about this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, me too. I'm so grateful for you and your work and who you are and what you're up to, and just so grateful to be a part of it. To be celebrating together with you today and sharing your wisdom with the world and your gifts. So. Okay, everybody, take advantage of everything Karen's got to offer. You will not regret it if it resonates at all for you. And she gives incredible value. And grateful you were on the show today, Karen. And I want to thank the audience for being here today. And again, keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone, and goodbye for now.
Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.